Ruth, I suspect you and Tom could talk for hours. You need to go for a coffee.
Those immortal words, what's the weather going to do? Words to live by, absolutely. Yes, because quite frankly, it's anyone's guess what the weather is going to do next. It seems to be throwing everything at us, doesn't it? Just one storm after another after another. Storm Isha, of course, that caused all that chaos and disruption to much of the UK yesterday and actually brought 90-mile-an-hour winds to Capel Curig last night, is now a dim and distant memory. Isha is parked quite happily across parts of Scandinavia, if you can just see to the top of the screen there. However, where Isha has left off, Storm Jocelyn looks set to take over. Jocelyn arrives through tomorrow. Now, the good news is that Jocelyn will rattle through quite quickly, and then there's more low pressure bringing an unsettled end to the week. But we're not quite out of the woods as far as weather warnings are concerned. Now, to allay any fears, Jocelyn isn't quite as powerful as Isha was, but we're still looking at some significant wind speeds. So a warning across almost the whole of Wales, but for North Wales in particular, of gusts of up to 60, 70 miles an hour across the hills and mountains and around coastal areas. But there's also wet weather in the forecast, and of course the ground is already saturated, so it could make for some really tricky conditions. Here are the details. Warm rain, warm wind. It's that time of the year, isn't it?
Nothing if not a mixed bag there, though.
That's the best way of putting it, a mixed bag. I like that.
And you're keeping the sunshine for Wednesday for us, which is nice.
Well, despite all this talk of stormy weather, it's actually not too bad out there at the moment. The showers will tend to ease through this evening, and thankfully the winds will start to ease back too. Still a little bit blustery around coastal areas, but nowhere near as strong as they have been recently. Generally a dry night tonight, low cloud, a little bit misty murky around the hills and mountains, the Bannow down in the south as well. But it stops the temperatures from dropping too low. So a frost-free night, lows of 3 or 4 degrees inland under any clear skies, a little bit milder still around coastal areas. But from the word go tomorrow morning, we're certainly going to feel the greys and the gloom. It's not particularly pleasant as we wake. The winds will start to pick up, and we've got this wet weather that'll start to rattle its way through too. Of course, more rain falling onto ground which is already saturated, so watch out for flood alerts. Not pleasant conditions by any means. The best I can say is, at least temperature-wise, feeling relatively mild, actually several degrees above the average for the time of year, with highs tomorrow of 12 or 13 in Celsius, and that's despite the fact it is going to be gloomy and certainly windy. And then those winds will really start to pick up the pace as we head through Tuesday evening, with warnings for northern areas, as I've been saying, for some very strong winds gusting up to 70 miles an hour. So just be careful, not pleasant. And it could make for, again, some rather interesting conditions for the early hours of Wednesday morning. But again, the positive is this will all rattle through quite quickly. And once that's gone, Wednesday is actually shaping up to be a pretty decent day. Generally dry, thanks to a ridge of high pressure, with temperatures ranging between 10 and 12 in Celsius. So not actually feeling too bad at all. As far as your outlook is concerned, well, remaining generally mild, but I think unsettled sums it up.